Good morning. It is Wednesday morning when I'm filming this, and I've got the Hustler hooked up, and I'm gonna go feed the cows. We got a decent amount of snow out of this little storm. They were saying 6 to 8 inches. It is hard to say how much we got because the temperature was rather warm while it was coming down, and even this morning it's like only like 31 degrees, like it's not horribly cold out. Right now the wind isn't blowing, which is nice, of course, but the cows need fed. They're all home. There's snow on the ground, so of course they think they're dying. And so I'm gonna get a couple bales to the cows and the calves. Preg checking is coming up on Friday, so they're home, which is great. But let's get everybody fed this morning. First, we gotta open a gate. There's a deer hanging out here by the reservoir in the triangle pasture. It's really wet underneath. When I walk, you can see water underneath all the snow because the ground was warm, since we haven't had like a hard frost up to this point. So this should be really beneficial moisture. Obviously we're like at the end of the season, nothing's gonna grow, but it's really good for the soil. Hopefully it'll cut down on the dust for a while. There isn't any snow like in the forecast for like the next 14 days or so, and it is supposed to warm back up, but for now at least the dust will calm. This is gonna melt, I expect. Now that's just a little it's a little spike buck out there. The deer actually came into my yard around my house last night, and they took one of the kids' pumpkins that they had carved off the back porch. I thought they ate it, but I found it just like knocked off, and could see where they wandered around through the snow tracks and went and messed with my tree. And it's like, can you guys just please, can we stay out of the yard? Can you please go anywhere else besides my yard? I watched the cows this morning all wander out of the cow shed even before the sun was up. Like, it was light out, but the sun actually technically hadn't rose yet, and they were all meandering out, and I was like, you're gonna just wait a minute, okay? I wanted it to get light out. We did have a little bit of snow that still came down. It was foggy. It was just like, you're gonna wait just a few minutes, okay, guys? So nobody's died. They're all okay. I'm sure they're like, what is this white stuff? I've got one more gate to open so that I can get out of the triangle pasture. And then after this, I'll actually just leave this open. I don't have bottle calves in here anymore. Once we blew out the summer water well, I didn't have any water that was like easily accessible. And so the bottle calves are actually in the air equip until we preg check, and then they'll get mixed in with the herd. I'm sure they're all going to follow me, and I'll just feed probably right out here outside the hay yard. I am planning on kicking the cows back down to summer pasture if this melts after preg checking, just because there's plenty of grass down there. I do think it's going to melt. It's going to open back up, and so they can graze. Even if I get just a couple weeks out of an additional grazing period, that will be super helpful for the hay supply. I also have a hayfield that I did not cut here close to home. I can minimally feed. I can feed them up into that hayfield and then let them graze, like feed them just a little bit less than what they should be having, and then let them graze. I am going to have calves in the aero equip for a while as I wean. Steers will get moved across the road, once the cows have dried up or gone back down to summer pasture, then I can kick the heifer calves out into the home pasture and again, like minimally feed and encourage them to graze. So that's kind of my plan for the next few weeks, is let the snow melt. I'm not going to do anything, it's just going to do what it does, you know, but then hopefully be able to move everybody around after preg checking. I am also bangs vaccinating the heifers, preconditioning all the calves. It's going to be a whole day of working. It's not a whole day. They're coming, the vet's coming in the afternoon. We should be able to get it done, hopefully in about 4 hours or so is my hope. It is muddy underneath the snow, like really, really muddy. Oh, there's more deer in the hay yard. They can hang out here. I just don't need them in my yard. They don't need to be around the house. They're obviously not too worried about me and the tractor. Alright, we're gonna grab bale. I'm gonna take 2 bales to the cows. And so we'll put one in the hustler and I'll carry one in the loader. Let's get everybody fed. I thought I pressed record when I took the net wrap off, but apparently I did not. 1 bale in the hustler. Gonna grab another bale with the loader so we can feed 2 bales to these guys. So we're gonna spin another circle, grab off the same haystack. Feeding the cows is kind of like riding a bike. Like, I gotta get used to having the hustler behind the tractor all the time, and sometimes you go, oh, I really need the tractor, but then I have to unhook the hustler, which, like, I'm grateful for the hustler. It's a great piece of equipment, but having only one tractor with a loader, sometimes we do kind of shuffle things around. So it's like, well, what do we need to do without a loader, or with the loader? What can we do with the hustler on, whatnot? So there's a lot of hooking and unhooking during the winter, and that's fine. It's very easy to hook up and unhook, but it is kind of like riding a bike. You gotta remember how all the things work. I've got cows spread out all over, which is fine. They're perfectly able to go graze. They can't really graze. The snow's covering everything, but they think they're grazing. There we go. Come on. are definitely spinning very slow, and so I'm going to have to check that out and see if I can figure out what's going on with that. It should be spinning much faster. To get the forks out, you gotta put it all the way down and then all the way back the other way, and now into transport mode. So you can watch the little dial down in the bottom that tells you the position of your forks. Okay, now we're in transport mode. Once it's in transport mode, I can raise the table, put the tractor into gear, I don't know what it's called. The thing that makes the hay come out. Very slowly. That's 2 bales fed for the cows. I do think I remember that hustler spinning faster, so I'm going to check that out, see what's going on with that. It's obviously still working and still functional, but of course I'd like it to be working, you know, in its best condition. So I'm going to do a little maintenance on that, see what's going on. You know, first feeding. Actually, Jeff fed yesterday. He didn't say anything about it not working right, so we'll check it out. He didn't really feed last spring, though. I don't know if Jeff even ran the hustler last spring. He maybe did. But, you know, it's been sitting outside in storage all summer. We did clean it off and everything. But until, you know, you run a couple bales through it, you know, I'm not surprised that maybe we're having like just a little tiny bit of an issue. But I do really enjoy the hustler. It kind of did take me a while to kind of get used to it and feel comfortable with it, because it's kind of, it does obviously have a lot of moving parts, and just like the transport mode and just all the nuances kind of to it. But I would say it's relatively easy friendly. I do like it. It makes a really nice windrow. It's easy to hook and unhook, like I said. The cows like it because it's nice and fluffed up hay. I can put hay where I want to. I can feed part of a bale. If I didn't want to like kick out the core, I wouldn't have to. I could take it back to the shop and like feed it to multi-species or my bottle calves or something like that. So a lot of versatility that comes with the hustler. I am glad that I have it. Used to use the old-fashioned spooler, which was just on the 3-point hitch, and I just had 2 arms with spikes on it that would come in, and then you would just unspool, but it laid it down really flat, whereas the hustler like fluffs it, which is nice for the cows. Everybody needs a bale today, so I'm gonna grab bales for the horses, bulls, and the steers that are not on grain. The feedlot needs grain. The multi-species also, or the feedlot needs a bale. Multi-species also needs a bale. So I'm just gonna grab a few more bales and get everybody fed, and so that they have nice, warm, full bellies for today in the snow. What's up, bulls? Hey, where's Ferguson? I got 2 horses, 2 bulls, 5 calves. I need a Hereford bull. It's very snowy. I have to open this gate. Can you guys move, please? We're gonna go to the hay ring. Hey, Brutus. Do you guys remember Brutus, the bottle calf? Here he is. All right, nobody walk the cattle guard, please. We're gonna go down to the hay ring, which is way over there. I can't see the road. 1, I have a bale in front of me. 2, it's covered in snow. The heat in the tractor works great. So I get just like boiling hot, and then I get cold. Where is that little Hereford bull at? He may be on the other side of this hill here. Oh, yeah, I'm not on the road. It's fine that I'm not on the road. It's just in the pasture, but I do try and stay on the road. There's some tracks wandering up this hill. I wonder if he wandered up that direction. I did see him yesterday. Like, he's not missing. Well, he's missing right this second, but it's not like he's been like gone for days or anything. Hot. Didn't even hardly take any time, and I was too hot. I am going to put this bale in the ring feeder. I don't have to spool over here just because the number of animals that I have. So they can all gain access around the hay feeder all at the same time because there is so few of them right now. Once the steer calves come over after weaning, I will have to start spooling, and then it'll kind of be like an every other day. I'll have to do the math and, you know, see how many days a bale should last them, and obviously just like pay attention to how quickly they're eating the hay. But then I will start spooling. I do sometimes still, like last spring, I would throw a bale in the bale feeder too. It's nice to have a bale in the bale feeder like when it's gonna snow, because if you spool it and then it snows on top of it, there just ends up being more waste that way. And obviously I don't want to waste hay. I want to have it go into their bellies and not onto the ground. I might maybe see Ferg on top of the hill over there by the snow fence. There's a lot of snow on this bale, which doesn't make it super fun to get net wrap off. Hi, Brutus. Hi, buddy. I need my camera. Okay, excuse me, Balls. Come on, let's move. Hey, I obviously don't want to get between these guys and the bale of hay. And since are they gonna move? Nah, we'll walk around the tractor. All right, guys, can we move out of the way, please? Thank you. All right, they're fed. Oh, there's Ferguson. I see him now. Here comes Hyro. There's Ferguson. He's making his way over. I am just coming out of the hay yard. Again, I've got a bale on the table of the Hustler and I've got one in the loader. So multi-species is gonna get a bale. We'll do them first. Looks like all the cows are doing good. Everybody's eating. It's nice to have them home. It is nice to see them when they, I can look out the window and see them. I always enjoy that in the fall. It's kind of, signifies, again, a change of season, something different. So it's nice to look out the window and see the cows. It's nice to see them this morning, peeking out of the barn and just be able to watch them. I do really enjoy that. I always have. I have had the triangle pasture pretty much locked off to cows since early spring. I did have the bottle calves in there, so they did graze it a little bit, but I see some of the cows have gone in there. That's totally fine. They can graze it down. It's not like high quality grass, we're dry. But they've got plenty of hay out. It should take them most of the day to kind of eat through that, and then we'll get everybody else fed. Thankfully, it's not super cold. That is nice about this storm, is that it's not super cold. It is going to melt. It is going to be a sloppy, muddy mess on Friday through preg checking. I guess that's better than having dirt in our eyes, although footing will be, hope nobody slips and falls. These are mostly Michelle's cows that are here in the triangle pasture. Guys, I put hay out. I mean, they're fine. They're finding stuff to eat. Then they can just walk out the gate. Yesterday I fed small squares to the multi-species just because the snow was covering up what was left of their big round, and I've been feeding on the other side just for convenience sake. I am going to drop a bale over here on this side. I'm just going to put over the fence. I need a better system for these guys, in all honesty. I've got so many different types of animals in here. I need a multi-purpose feeder. I would also like to be able to feed them big rounds, just because I don't have a ton of small squares. I could buy some small squares, but obviously I prefer not to. I didn't put up any small squares this year. I figured I have enough to make it through, although not that I have to be stingy with them, but I just I don't have an unlimited supply, obviously, and so it'd be great to have some sort of big round bale feeder that cut down on waste and that everybody could access. I don't know if that exists. I can't say that I've spent any time really looking for something. All right, I'm gonna cut net wrap and get this dumped over the fence. My net wrap would not come off. Grab it once I drop this bale. Oh no, it landed on the net wrap. That worked better in my head of how that was gonna go. Oh, actually it all came off. Good deal. This hill's real muddy. I should be fine getting up it, but it's real muddy. Camera tried to fall down. Jeff saw me coming back, so he actually is closing the gate for me. Thank you, Jeff. Much appreciated. You can see here, like in the yard, like that's all water. You can definitely tell it was like warm, wet snow. And on the dark colored rock, of course, it melts a little bit faster. So Jeff done some plowing while I was gone. Farm store is open today. We'll plow right before that. We'll see how much like melts and stuff. High tunnels made it through. They're up. They're fine. Oh, looks like the mailbox is open. That's cool. Guess I'll have to grab the mail on my way back. Thank you, mail person. Oh, there's a package shoved in it that's like falling out. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna go across the road to the feedlot. Last bale of the day. These guys have already had their grain for the day. They have a little bit of hay still in the bale feeder, but it's time for a new bale. And just like that, everybody is fed for the day. These guys will be good for at least probably like a week or so. As their grain increases every day or every week on Mondays, then it's the less amount of hay that they eat as they get closer to being finished. They can only consume so many pounds per day. So as grain goes up, hay goes down. So they'll be good for at least a week. I think the bulls and stuff are good 3-4 days, and then the cows will get fed kind of every day until this melts some and they can go back to grazing a little bit, and I could open up that hay field and see if they go up there. I'm gonna grab my mail out of the mailbox, and thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that if you are near Northeast Wyoming or South Dakota, I know they were supposed to get a bunch of snow too, I hope that you got some moisture if you needed it. if you're super dry, I hope that some is coming your way soon. And if you're feeding animals today, be safe. And by the time you guys see this, probably most of the snow will be melted. But preg checking on Friday, that will be the next video. And I hope you come back and visit and see how preg checking goes, who's pregnant, who's open, and bangs vaccination, precondition, whole day of working cattle. That's next on the agenda. So thank you so much for being here. As always, I truly appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.